Left waist, FW, 9 o'clock low.
Looking right at him, sir. Hey, Ross, stowaway, now's your chance. Yes, sir.
Man, you really pick them up the hard way, don't you?
Damage, Ross. 7 o'clock level. Ross!
O'clock high. A QM production. Starring Robert Lanson. Also starring Frank Overton. With guest stars Brandon DeWilde and Gerald O'Loughlin. Tonight's episode, Here's to Courageous Cowards.
How many do you make it, sir?
12. 12 out of 18. Major, why are we getting chopped up like this?
I don't know. Morale's good, and you couldn't find a better lead man than Joe Moss.
Harvey, have you noticed anything different about Morse in the past couple of weeks?
Different? What do you mean, sir?
I don't know. It's just a feeling like ice across my neck. Major, I want to see complete combat reports on Morse's last 6 missions.
Yes.
Hey, you okay? Look, be scared. It's okay. Well, you better get back to your typewriter. Major will kill me.
How'd it go, Major?
And 9/18th clobbered that target. All the other outfits did was just rearrange the rubble. Jimmy, come here!
Yes, sir.
Well, Sergeant, that was quite a day of country shooting you had up there today. I'm going to confirm it personally in my report. Congratulations.
Sir?
What?
I'm afraid you've got the wrong gunner, sir.
Wrong what?
Well, you see, there's this buddy of mine. He's been begging me to take him on a mission. Well, he got that FW this morning.
You must be kidding me, aren't you, Sergeant?
No, sir.
Well, just exactly who was this buddy of yours?
Corporal Ross Lawrence. He's a clerk in General Savage's office.
A clerk did that shooting?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll be. Now, look, Sergeant, you know what I could do to you for letting unauthorized personnel stow away in this thing, don't you?
Yes, sir.
All right, go on, get out of here. And don't you let it happen again, now, do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Stick around, Cap. I'll be right out.
Good afternoon, Major. The General's not in right now.
I didn't come here to see the General. I came here to see you, Lawrence. How'd you like the flight today?
Sir?
Oh, come on now, Corporal. Let's not play games. I know you're up in my plane today.
Sir, it was not Sergeant Smith's fault. The thing is,
Oh, now, nothing is gonna happen to Jimmy Smith. Things might be looking up for you.
Sir?
You wasted talent, Lawrence. You got the eye of an eagle. I'm gonna get you out of here. I can talk to the General and see that you get special flight combat training right here on the base. Have you assigned to one of the crews? Who knows, you might even wind up with me, right? Now, what do you think of that idea?
That is quite an idea, sir, but I already have a job.
I'll get you out of it. When I tell the General what you were able to pull off today, man.
Well, if it's all the same to you, sir, I'd prefer to stay right here where I am.
You'd what? Why?
It's just a matter of personal preference, sir.
What'd he say?
He said no.
Well, what'd he stow away for if he doesn't want to fly?
I don't know. It's a good question. That's a very good question.
Good evening, Frank.
Oh, Harvey. What's the matter, Harvey? You run out of room under the rug? Harvey, what do you know about Corporal Lawrence here?
Bright boy, fairly well educated. Why, sir?
No reason.
By the way, Major Moore stopped by a few hours ago. He wanted to talk about training Lawrence for combat. I gather you ran into him.
I ran into him.
You know Lawrence is a very sensitive boy. Some of those combat crews would just swallow him.
Harvey, will you stop hovering over him? Father and son relationship we do not need on this business. You've been doing it ever since I came into this office.
Have I?
Yes, you have. Oh, did you pick up those reports on Morse's last 6 missions?
Oh, yes, they're right here.
Did you read these?
Yes, sir.
Harvey, there's something happening to Morse. Look at this. Seems like he's not taking any evasive action at flak. He's blowing his way right through bad weather.
Well, nobody has a more impressive record than he has. No one has more fighting spirit.
No, I know that, Harvey. 35 missions under his belt. That's a long haul. Too long, maybe.
Captain, Major Morse asked me to talk to a pal of mine who works in the ground exec's office.
Did he get what I wanted, Meadows?
Yes, sir, he sure did.
Well, what's it say?
Lawrence Rossell, age 21, no living relatives, enlisted February 10th in Springfield, Illinois, after having served a year's internment as a conscientious objector.
And yesterday, six aircraft out of 18, Joe. That's 60 men. They hear the rumble from losses like that all the way back to the Pentagon, Joe. If the entire 8th had a loss ratio like that for any length of time, it could jeopardize the very future of daylight precision bombing. All right. Look, Joe, I've got to consider every factor involved, and that includes you.
Does the general suggest that I'm not delivering?
No, I didn't say that. You've totaled every target we've hit. We haven't had to go back since Regensburg. But why the heavy losses, Joe?
Look, sir, I don't know. I thought you'd be overjoyed with these results. There'll always be casualties.
But not this high. Now, you're losing aircraft in bad weather by forcing your pilots to hold formation.
They've been hitting us there.
You're wading right straight through heavy concentrations of flak. You could use evasive tactics.
General...
You always choose the primary target, Joe. Sometimes it might be better to consider the secondary.
Look, Frank, I get to the target as fast as I can, I hit it as hard as I can, and I get out of there as soon as I can. Now, just exactly what is wrong with that?
Crow has promised us 4 replacement crews in the morning, so at least you'll have 18 airplanes.
Thank you, sir. You know, it's a funny thing, Frank. I mean, here I am doing everything I can to help win this war, and there you are, worrying about me and sweating out replacements. And all the time there's this real problem sitting right outside that door there.
What problem?
Well, your clerk. I mean, right or wrong, I was fighting while this kid Lawrence out there, he was a conscientious objector.
What are you talking about?
Well, if you don't know, as of this morning, you're the only one.
I'll talk to you later, Major.
Yes, sir.
Harvey, come in here.
Yes, sir?
Harvey, why didn't you tell me about Corporal Lawrence and this conscientious objector business?
Well, I didn't think it was necessary. Any more than I think it was necessary to take up the General's time with other frailties of human nature that plague the group. Only last month you gave an air medal to a young man whose admiration for the other sex led him into 3 marriages all at the same time. Then... Sir, Lawrence is no malingerer. Mixed up, maybe. But he's a boy raised in an orphanage. No family, no... Well, I think we ought to try and understand what... Well, the boy is doing a job, sir.
Harvey, do you know what the group could do with this? All right, send Corporal Lawrence in here.
Well, I sent him over to briefing to lay out the map for tomorrow's mission.
Cigarette?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Corporal. I just heard that you had been a conscientious objector.
Yes, sir.
For reasons of religious belief?
No, sir.
And why?
Well, I guess I felt at the time that war was wrong.
At the time. How do you feel about it now? Lawrence, Major Stovall tells me that you never knew your parents, right?
Yes, sir, that's not quite true. I knew who they were. My mother died when I was born, and my father was killed November 11th, 1918.
In France?
Yes, sir. In the war to end wars.
Why did you enlist, Lawrence?
I began to wonder whether I wasn't just kidding myself. I wanted to find out whether it was a matter of ethics or cowardice. So I joined up to see.
That's why you stored away the other day.
Yes, sir.
With what results?
I don't know yet.
You know, Corporal, you've chosen an awfully rocky road.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't that bother you at all?
Yes, sir. It's tearing me to pieces.
You finished in here, Corporal?
Yes, sir.
That'll be all. You're dismissed.
Thank you, sir.
Bandits, 3 o'clock high.
and Stewart taking care of Phillips and McKay. I just took a look at Frankie in the turret. I wouldn't want the rest of the boys to see that. Would you help me get him out?
Yes, yes.
Sure. The Coleman will take care of that. Let's go on in. What's wrong, pal?
Nothing!
Come on.
All right, Wilson. You try leading a group while you're slipping around in another man's blood. You try flying by the book when your oxygen gone and your fumes.
Joe, you've been hanging on by an eyelash. You knew it, and I knew it. Now, don't you think it's about time General Savage knew it?
Cap, you open your mouth. I'm gonna cram this right down your throat. So help me, right down your throat.
You want to ground me, is that it?
Joe, I never ground a good man until I'm sure I have to. I'm not that sure yet. Look, you'll know when the time comes. You'll know before I do. When it comes, if it comes, I want you to tell me. No officer has the right to jeopardize the lives of his men needlessly, particularly the man who leads the entire group.
I have never jeopardized one single airplane in my command. I hang them in tight all the way to the target and all the way back. Do everything I can to protect those birds.
Check, Major. Everything you can, right up to the limit of your capabilities. And that's what we're talking about, isn't it? If it comes down to this, Joe, you're not a machine. You're a man, and I think you're a tired man. I think you're a man who's seen too much battle, too much... Major, I've made out a list of the possible replacements for group leader. I want you to check it over and give me a recommendation.
Doesn't the general want to know why I'm slipping?
The reason's not important. What is important are the lives of the men who depend on you.
I have been aware of my responsibility.
All right, then be aware now, Joe. Right now.
Worked hard for this spot. Like I've been fighting for it all my life. Fought my way out of a cheap department store in Des Moines selling $15 suits. Fought being the kind of nobody that just fades into the woodwork. Kind of guy that people just look through.
Knock it off, will you?
Well, I fought my way out of that trap. Joined the service. Made an officer out of me. Learned to fly. More important, I learned to fight. please, Frank. Now, for the first time, I am somebody. Both here and back home.
Pick a man, Joe. Step down. Voluntarily. It'll be better for everybody if you do this on your own.
Voluntarily? You mean I actually have a choice? Thanks. I'll think about it. You're sorry. You fell over my date and you tell me you're sorry.
Private wake, or can anyone mourn? Major Morse is a very popular fellow.
Say, Harvey, say it.
First, Joe Morse will never step down on his own. That means you're going to have to take action yourself, and nobody will be able to explain it.
Fred Morse has had it, Harvey. He won't be able to take much more. He's going to bust wide open.
Well, you know that, Frank, because it's part of your job to have a sixth sense about your men. But nobody else knows, with the exception of Captain Wilson.
Wilson, what's he got to do with it?
He's Morse's best friend. He's closer to him than anybody else on the base. I talked to Wilson about Morse today.
You did?
Oh, well, he couldn't have construed that I was crying. But his reaction was very revealing. I had the distinct impression that he was hiding something, that he was protecting Morse. Now, my point is that the men who fly with Morse trust him. They love him. When they're out on a mission, when everything breaks loose, they pick up strength from him. They'll never understand why you replaced him. If you ground Joe Morse, you're going to lose the respect of every man on this base.
Harvey, I wasn't sent here to grow wings in a halo. I was sent here to run part of the Air Force. And that's what I'm going to do. Run it.
So much for the windpipe, he says. Now, if the jugular vein gets cut, there's nothing to that. Pull it out, it's like elastic. Just tie a little knot in that little fella, and that's all there is to it. He said. And he says, if both jugular veins get cut, if both get cut, just say a prayer over the guy, because he's dead.
Yes, sir. General, I understand that. General, if you can tell me how to put up a maximum effort day after day without the replacements that I need, Yes, General. I understand that. All right, sir, we'll do the best we can. Right. Harvey!
Yes, General.
Harvey, you working on those billeting arrangements for the new replacements?
Yes, sir, I
All right,
expect to have...
forget them. They've been funneled down to the 926. We'll have to do with what we've got.
But, General, we're in pretty
Harvey,
bad...
I want you to climb into those files and find me some men.
Well, I'll... Yes, sir.
Carve our inactive roster to the bone. Pilots, navigators, bombardiers, gunners. Check every rest and recuperation leave. Unless it's mandatory to keep them down, I want them put on flight status immediately. that you?
Yes, sir.
Come in here a second, will you? Corporal, I cannot remember when I have given as much thought to a single human being as I have to you in the past couple of days.
I'm sorry, sir.
Well, don't be. It just suddenly occurred to me that if I can't convince my own clerk of the terrible necessity to win this war, then I'm really in trouble here.
Sir, I understand about the concentration camps, and the racism, and the book burnings, and I'm against all that.
But what? Do you think it'll go away because it's wrong?
No, sir.
But you're not willing to fight to destroy it, isn't it?
Begging the General's pardon, sir, but what good did it do to fight the First World War? When will the killing end, sir?
All right, now, Corporal, you let me tell you something. This world is populated by human beings, not gods. And human beings make mistakes. They stumble and they fall. But they learn. I don't know how, but somehow or another they do learn. This is a better world than it was when your father was killed. And it will be a better world than it is now. Because for all of the pain, Corporal, men of goodwill have learned one thing since 1939. Giving up doesn't work. And that's the lesson. It's a small one, it's a mean one, but it is a valuable one.
And you think I've given up, sir?
I don't know. Have you? All right. Corporal, you have been given a heavy burden for a peace-loving man. You know how to shoot. Now, that is a talent that the 9/18th can use. So we're going to use it.
Sir?
Why did you stow away on a combat mission?
Well, I suppose I...
Wasn't it to test yourself?
Yes, sir, but...
All right, I think it's time you took another test. I think you're ready for it. I think maybe all you need is a little push. So, I've decided that tomorrow morning you will begin an intensive 7-day training course, after which time you will be given the rank of Staff Sergeant and assigned to a combat crew as a gunner. You report to Colonel Taylor the moment you leave this building. That'll be all.
Sir, you mean I have nothing whatsoever to say about this?
That's what I mean, nothing whatsoever. You're dismissed. Well, Sergeant, this is Ed. How do you feel?
Scared, General.
That's the right answer. Good luck, Sergeant.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Blue-tail eater to all blue-tail stingers? How about that? Diversionary attack to the south pulled those fighters off us on the way in. It's just like a drive through the park. Don't go canceling your insurance policies, though. They'll sure be waiting for us when we come off the target. Okay, Cap. Hold your breath. Here we go, right down the tube.
Joe, that stuff up ahead is thick enough to knock us all out of the sky, don't you think just this once we ought to take a little evasive action?
Be at least 2 minutes late on the IP.
Also take a lot more boys home with us. Joe, it's time.
Okay, it's your ship.
Bombs away.
Let's go home, Commander.
Pilots and gunners, keep your eyes open for fighters. They're sure to be coming after us when we get out of this flak.
Here they come, bandits, 3 o'clock high.
They're coming in like they had invitations. Start shooting, Lawrence. Lawrence, that gun better be jammed. Shoot!
Sir?
I heard about your friend, and I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. So am I.
How do you feel about it now, sir?
Okay, I guess. At least I think I know what I'm doing now. Thank you, sir.
Welcome back, Major.
Thank you, sir.
From all preliminary reports, you clobbered the target again. And all the birds got back this time. Congratulations.
Well, this was more or less Captain Wilson's party. I figure if I'm going to recommend him for group leader, I better check him out in the job.
I see. Is he your choice?
Yes, sir, he is.
All right, I'll cut the order tomorrow.
I trust the general can find me a good desk to fly.
Major, I'll tell you what. You finish up here, and I'll buy you a drink, and we'll look them over together, all right? Pick me up in operations.